Hello everyone, Mr. Quattrocchi here again. Time to show you Google Classroom. So here we are in the opening page of Google Classroom. You presumably have all of your classes already set up. You've entered your codes from your different teachers, or you've gotten the invites from the different teachers. You should have gotten an invite from me already. What I'm going to do is I'm only going to make one video for my two geometry classes, my one honors geometry classes, and my two intro to calculus classes. There's only subtle differences between the three when it comes to Google Classroom. So I'm going to open up my A period geometry, and this is the first thing you see is the stream. Now most of you are very familiar with Google Classroom, but not everybody is going to know how I'm going to use Google Classroom. That's the reason that I'm showing it to you. And Google Classroom does have a couple new features. For example, you have a Google Meet link. So this is what you're going to use if it's a Pod A week, meaning Pod A is live in person and the Pod B is home remotely, or if you're a Remote Learning Academy student, then you will click on this in the morning at the time of our class, and you will be watching the class and interacting with the class while we're teaching at that same time. And then again in the afternoon, you will use this one again during the half-hour session in the afternoon. That you'll be using. So that's for the Pod B students, and then the next week it flips. Pod B students will be live in person and the Pod A students will be home, clicking on this link and watching and interacting with the class. So I'm not going to show you Google Meet. That will be part of the Google Meet expectations will be covered when I read through the expectation sheet, which is a different video. So in your stream, you're going to see anything new that I've posted, and I've posted a whole bunch of material for you to peruse. Really, you're going to spend most of your time here in the classwork section. Now, some of these things are grayed out because they're from last year, and I just copied my classes from last year, but you won't even see those. Expectations is the first thing you're going to go to. You're going to click on this. It's a question. It's a sign off that you have read and watched the video. I'm not going to click on it yet because I don't have the video created yet, because I wanted to create this one first. This is the third in the line of videos. The expectations video will be the last one that I create, and that will be linked in here. The expectations are already linked in here. You can see that they're linked inside the assignment here, or the question I should say. They're linked inside here. You can also find a link to the expectations here, and so you're going to have to work on that. That's due September 20th for all the classes. Doesn't matter if you're geometry or intro to calc, all classes. The expectation sign-off sheet is due September 20th. My how to use Planbook video is here. Planbook, and if you click on the video, it will show you this is a link to Planbook. I'll just click on this briefly, and you'll see it brings you straight to the A period digital plan book for this week and next. So this week, obviously, there's nothing. Wait for it to finish loading. There we go. That up there. So, but next week we start things. All the freshman classes are going to be meeting on Tuesday, and then A period, everybody is in. And this video, I just wanted to show you that that's the link, because if you click on the how to use Planbook video, it's going to go into more detail into that upcoming tool that you can use. So I'm going to close out of this and go back. So again, that video is right here. There's also, now this is for the geometry students only, standard CP1s and honors. So intro to calc, this bigideasmath.com does not apply to you. So this is the login page for bigideasmath.com, which is our online geometry textbook. And this is a video of me showing you how to use the online geometry textbook. Huge resource, very important. You're going to spend equal amounts of time, maybe even a little bit more time on that site than you will on Google Classroom. Okay. Now, in both Geometry and Intro to Calc, I also have, oh, here's another link to Planbook. I also have resources. Now, what are these resources? These resources are our skeleton notes. So skeleton notes for geometry, section 1.1. This is the CP1 version. There's also an honors version. They're very similar. In Intro to Calc, I have skeleton notes, and I deal with them slightly differently. You will hear exactly how they are graded when I go over the expectations video. So you're going to have to watch the expectations video or read the expectations as well. And you'll know how I deal with them. And they're not the same for geometry and Intro to Calc. They're slightly different. But in geometry, you're going to be reading these. There is a video for you to click on. I believe this video link is not working anymore. YouTube took this down for copyright infringements, even though I have it as an education tool. And I have another link for it from my Google Drive that when I make this an assignment, you will get that link directly. And maybe by the time I finish this video, I might check that. So you have, if you go through the bigideasmath.com video, I show you where to find definitions. These are terms that you need to define. These are skeleton notes. You need to fill in the skeleton notes. You need to put the meat on the bones. And that's true if you're in honors or CP1 or in Intro to Calc. You're going to be putting the meat on the bones. The difference is the vehicle in which you're going to be doing that. Now, so you're going to go through and try your best to describe these, because these are undefined terms. But then we get into defined terms, and you're going to have to define them. Now, you're going to have to look them up in our textbook and define them from our textbook. And then you get to problems. Example 1, you're going to solve this. Go through and solve to the best of your ability. And example 2, for more definitions, these are some examples for you to look at. Another one for you to solve, or in this case, sketching, naming, always, sometimes, never problems, which can be very challenging. They are very thought-provoking, and they can be very tricky. Always, sometimes, never problems here and then for the rest of the year. Some more problems for you to answer, and then bookwork. Now, you can do the bookwork in an old-fashioned handout textbook, or you can go to bigideasmath.com. That is the one that I highly recommend. I would say 99.9% of my students over the last 5 years have been using bigideasmath.com, and they prefer it. It's much easier. You get instant feedback. But the problems that I will have set up on bigideasmath.com are these problems. They're exactly the same problems. So if you watch the video of me doing bigideasmath.com, you're going to see me doing these problems. I only do a few of them as an example, but these problems from the textbook are the ones that you will find in bigideasmath.com. Now, right now in Google Classroom, these are just set up as resources. There's section 1.1, but you'll see section 1.1 listed again. Why? Because this document here is an answer key. This is the answer key for the skeleton notes. So you should be checking your answers with the answer key to see how you've done. Did you see, these are the always, sometimes, never questions, the true falses, the ones that you had to sketch, so on and so forth. So you check your answers. I'm giving you the answers ahead of time. This isn't a quiz. It's not an assessment. It is notes. So I'm giving you the answers for you to look at. If you're not sure how I got the answer, then I have also, close that out, provided skeleton note videos. So we click here, section 1.1, and if we hit play, and I'm only going to hit it briefly. Hello everyone. Here's my first video for Geometry, Western Academy. Chapter 1, Basis of Geometry, Section 1.1, Points, Lines, and Planes. You're going to want to read. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole video, but what I am going to say is, let's say you check the answer key and you get them all right except number 5. You couldn't figure out how to get number 5. Well, you fast forward, and I'm not going to be able to actually see. What does that say? That's question 3. There's question 3 again. Question 4, oh, we're super close. Question 5 is next. There we go. So now all you have to do is watch the part of the video that you got wrong or that you couldn't figure out. And just because you got it wrong doesn't mean that you weren't able to figure it out originally. It just means that you got it wrong. Maybe you figured it out with help from a friend or from myself, or you go to the video and you watch the video. Now, if you watch the video and you still don't know how I solve the problem, that's when you come into class the next day. Raise your hand, ask me online through Google Meet, and we'll go through that problem. I will show you again how to solve that problem and hopefully be able to answer your questions and get to the point of confusion and clarify and iron that out. Okay, so I have a video created for almost all of the sections. I don't have all of chapter 7 complete, and I don't have chapter 8 done yet. There are 8 more videos total for me to make. Those will be done long before we get to those chapters this year. Okay. I also have construction videos, but this year we are going to be skipping constructions due to lack of time. Since we're meeting about half of the amount of time this year, we're not going to be able to get to constructions as part of our curriculum. But they're still a useful tool for understanding, so they are here if you want to click on them. These are the constructions videos. This is a document, basic constructions document. If you click on this and open it up, you will see descriptions, instructions on how to do with diagrams, how to do each of the constructions with a compass and a straight edge. There are 21 different constructions, and I have 21 videos explaining them. Okay, those are constructions. Reflections. We are going to have reflections throughout this year. Okay, and this was going to be the first one. I haven't made it live yet. It's still just draft. You won't even be able to see it at all. But this is that Euclid video. This is the YouTube version that doesn't work anymore. But this is the Euclid video that I'm going to make it live. This one comes from my Google Drive. So you'll be able to watch it. And once I make it live, I'll give you a due date, and you're going to watch the video, and then you're going to write a 350 or more word reflection on what you just saw. What did you find interesting? What did you learn from it? What did you know already? What did you, what piqued a curiosity to find out more information? Is there a connection between this video and what we're covering in class? Hopefully there is. Okay, so this is going to become a reflection. It will become an assignment. So, these, like I said, well, not these ones, these ones. These right now are just resources. Okay, if you know you're not going to be able to come to class for a week or two, you're traveling or you're sick or you're out, and you want to get ahead or get caught up, either or, all of them are already here. All of the chapters, all the way up through chapter 12, resources are already here. Skeleton notes are there for the year. What I will be doing periodically, each time before we have a class or before you even leave the previous class, I will make live the next night's skeleton notes as an assignment. So I'll make an assignment. It's not going to look like one of these ones. These are the ones from last spring, but it will have a 9-1 video, 9-1 skeleton notes, 9-1 answer key, and then it won't have the tic-tac-toe board like we did last spring. But it will have these 3 things linked, and it's going to be an assignment. So you're going to have to fill in the skeleton notes. You make your copy of it. Now, let me talk about how you can fill in the skeleton notes. Digitally is one way, typing them in. That's fine. That becomes difficult when it comes to drawing and math type. So what I've had students do in the past is they hand write them out, take a picture, and submit the picture. Or handwrite them out, take a picture, and clip the picture into their version of the skeleton notes. You've made a copy, your copy of the skeleton notes, you just put the picture into the skeleton notes. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I don't care if you're typing them. I don't care if you're handwriting them. I don't care if you're taking a picture and sending me the picture, or taking a picture and putting the picture into the document, as long as it gets submitted to me and I can check it off as done, completed. Because all I'm looking for is completeness. I'm not checking to see if you got them right or wrong. You're checking to see if they get them right and wrong with the answer key, with the video, and then ones that you still don't understand, you're asking questions in class or during the half an hour session after lunch in the afternoon. So that's how we're going to be using Google Classroom. I'm going to be using it for assignments every class. You have the resources are already here and set up for you for the year. You feel free to explore. You can skip to one down here on the tab on the left and stream. You're going to see what's coming up soon. So you're going to see the skeleton notes that are due soon. You're going to see here what I've posted recently, and that will be an upcoming assignment will be posted. Right now it's a whole bunch of the resources that are posted in here, the new things that I put up from this summer. So that's Google Classroom. And again, I know that you are familiar with Google Classroom, but you weren't familiar with how I use Google Classroom. Okay. Now that you have this introductory video, good luck with the rest of your introductions to the resources that I have in this class. Thank you very much. Bye.